A traffic stop begins over an alleged seatbelt violation. But the questions keep coming, and tensions rise fast. As accusations of profiling surface, this stop becomes a heated clash over law, authority, and your rights.
Do you suspect me of a crime, sir?
I'm telling you.
You suspect me of a crime?
You did not have your seatbelt on from what I observed. That's why I made the traffic stop. In the state of Texas,
okay,
you have to have, every passenger has to have a seatbelt on.
And I have a seatbelt on, as anybody in the video.
You may now.
Sir.
I didn't see it.
Sir, what I think's happening here is you're baiting, you're looking at me, and you're judging me by appearance, and I would rather a supervisor be on here because I know my rights. There's no supervisor.
No, I don't have a supervisor.
Okay, well, we're live on footage here, and I do know at this point that unless I'm suspected of a crime, a judge needs to sign a warrant for you to go any further than where you...
Right now, the officer is questioning the individual about their seatbelt use during a traffic stop. What's interesting is that the person is pushing back, saying they suspect them of a crime and refusing to answer questions without a supervisor present. What's different here is that the individual is explicitly stating they don't see any evidence of seatbelts being worn by anyone in the vehicle, which is unusual for a traffic stop. The officer seems taken aback by this and is trying to steer the conversation back on track. This moment increases tension because it's clear the individual is becoming more assertive and resistant to the officer's questioning.
So if you want to travel up and down this highway,
I am not suspected of a crime, am I?
I'm telling you.
Am I suspected of a crime?
I did not observe a seatbelt on you.
That's not a crime.
Which is an offense under the Texas Driver's Code, under the code of for driving on our highway. You must have a seatbelt on. Everybody in the vehicle must have one on.
I get that. That's not the issue here. The issue is here. You have no right to ask me for my ID.
You didn't see it. You said he had to have it on.
If you did,
I'm not asking her because she's not the one.
She's the one driving. That is unbelievable. Okay, so what you're doing is trying to judge me by.
Right now, we see a tense exchange unfolding between two individuals. The officer is emphasizing the importance of wearing seatbelts on the highway, citing specific laws from the Texas Driver's Code. However, the passenger is pushing back against this, insisting that the real issue isn't about seatbelts but rather the officer's attempt to dictate what they can and cannot do. What's different here is that the passenger is actively questioning the officer's authority, pointing out that they're not asking the driver about their seatbelt use. This challenges the officer's expectations and creates a sense of resistance.
I saw you pull up. It was all on video. You were behind us. You pulled up. You peeked in to look at me, and then you pulled us up. Bullshit. I'm sorry. It's no disrespect to you, sir. I'm telling you.
That's really proper in front of your kids.
Sir, okay, good try. The issue is you're not being honest, so I'm going to call you on it, sir. I know the law. I know that I have the right to refuse what you're asking me right now. And I would prefer someone else as a supervisor on the scene, sir.
Right now, we're witnessing an intense moment in this situation. The individual is speaking directly to an authority figure, likely a law enforcement officer or manager. They're addressing the officer's behavior and actions that they claim were captured on video. What's striking is the level of detail being shared. Specifically, the person claims the officer pulled up behind them, peeked in to look at them, and then took some sort of action. The individual apologizes.
Someone, your father, is that what he said?
That's right.
If you could convince him to just give me that information, it'd be so much easier for you guys. We'd put you on down the highway.
Sir.
I mean, this is
what's going on right now.
This is not something that's a necessity.
Sit on your butt.
It's not. You didn't even ask the driver once for her license. You didn't ask for registration.
I asked the driver.
She tried to give it to you.
I said I don't need it now.
You need mine because you looked at me, sir. That is looking at me by discrimination on camera. You just admitted it. We're not consenting to anything that you're doing right now. For what? For what crime?
Wearing the seatbelt.
You're going to detain?
Right now, the officer is being pressed by a driver who's growing increasingly frustrated and suspicious. The driver is pointing out that the officer didn't ask for their license or registration, but instead asked them for identification. They're accusing the officer of discrimination based on this one-on-one interaction. What's different here is the tone of the conversation has shifted significantly. Earlier, it seemed like a routine traffic stop, but now we're seeing some real emotion and frustration coming from the driver. They're getting defensive and accusatory, which could escalate the situation further.
For not wearing a seatbelt.
I can actually take you to jail for it.
I have the right to drive up to the highway without telling you my name, sir. Okay. You keep confusing the issue. This is looking at me and discriminating against me and pulling us over for no other reason.
That's unfortunate.
There's no way that you can say otherwise. We watched you pull up.
Right now, the driver is expressing defiance towards the officer who pulled them over. They're claiming they have the right to drive without giving their name and accusing the officer of racial profiling. The driver specifically mentions that the key to confusing the issue is looking at them, implying that the officer's actions are based